Can I just ask you about admissions, which is our other
Mm.
area? We know since 1988 and in the last 13 years, particularly, schools are set against each other in competition. And therefore, schools, you can see in a way why they do it, want to pick and choose pupils they think will be successful, that will make them look better. And there's something rogue, the whole admissions picture has gone rogue, really. Under New Labour, my memory is that there was more control from the centre and so on. And you said you'd want to see local authorities in putting in charge of admissions. Is that your feeling? Do you see that on the ground, that there are schools that are clearly picking for themselves, not better, you know what I mean, more high achieving pupils?
So I mean, academisation has really created an issue in this regard. It has enabled selection through the back door in reality. And you know, I've been involved in some pretty important disputes. There was one quite recently in Newham, where Newvic College was resisting academisation, and the staff and the local community were resisting it on the basis that the community would lose a community college, a community school, that selection would come in. It would disadvantage particularly children from disadvantaged backgrounds, children with SEND. We also know that, you know, such a system actually siphons off through exclusion, off-rolling children to a much higher rate. So yes, I would like to see local authorities be responsible for admission. I would actually like schools to be responsible for what happens to young people after they exclude them as well. But also we have to look at the entire system that leads to a desire to select, and that really is down to school accountability, league tables, particularly driven by Ofsted. You know, when a head teacher's career can be determined by a single word, judgment, then the whole system fails and lends itself for such awful practice, really.
Yeah. I don't know if you followed it because it's quite new, but Brighton and Hove Council have brought in a new policy. Uh, they want to pioneer a policy of giving priority to free school meal children in terms of entrance to schools, popular schools around the council area. And there's been a lot of debate on that. I know I can't ask you to make any new policy on the hoof, but I'm just wondering what your thought is about policies like that.
I mean, that sounds like a really positive policy, doesn't it? I think, you know, that does sound an incredibly positive policy, because even where you don't have selection, you know, in a formal sense, what you will find is that the sharp-elbowed middle classes will coalesce by their property in certain areas to ensure that there is you know, selection in other ways. So actively, you know, taking a position that we are going to prioritize children of disadvantage could only be positive in my view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great. Well, we'll see how that goes. I think they also had tried a lottery scheme before that, and maybe somebody on the call will know and have a question around the lottery. So you seem very clearly in support of the things that we're in support of, and we've been campaigning for, I think it's 21 years now. We were formed in 2003. So as I say, any ways that we can work together with you to persuade an incoming government to take some of these issues forward would be great.